Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of Empowering Intuitives Talk Show. I am your host, Reverend Dr. Michelle Walker. I am an international medium and medical intuitive, amongst a lot of other things. And this show is always brought to help inspire and empower you to be your optimal self. So thank you, guys. We are live here on A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. Happy fall to everybody. This is the autumn, fall, equinox. Yay! The winds of change are blowing. I do my Spirit Inspiration live on Facebook every weekday. And today, Spirit was really talking about that. And as we were talking, the winds kept kicking up and it just was like blowing my hair all over the place about the winds of change. And what does it mean about this time of year? And what is the equinox? And, a lot of pagans, a lot of people that follow witchcraft or maybe even Celtic histories tend to follow more of the earth. Native Americans, they follow more of the earth signs, if you will, and the sign of the fall equinox. What does it mean? It is where for those of us that love summer, start to feel a little, oh no. It means that the days become shorter and the nights become longer. And this is where when you are somebody that gets up really early and you leave and you come back late, you leave and it's dark and you come back and it's dark. But this is the time of introspection. We're getting into winter. This is that internal work that we're going to be doing. But right now is a busy, busy, busy time, right? The harvest full moon is what they often talk about. And what it is that for the next several nights, you'll have more. The moon comes out a little earlier, gives those farmers extra time for the extra harvest. This is the time for us to plan, right? This is for us gardeners. We're getting ready to plant our garlic. We're getting ready to plant seeds for things that will sit and simmer for the winter months. This is also a time for us to plan things that will come up, right? Everything has a season and a reason. This season is about us thinking about moving into the winter months and the internal time. What are you going to be doing? For a lot of us, this is about if you have winter, then, we spend a lot more time indoors instead of outdoors. So we need to think about always our bodies and body, mind, and spirit. And so when we're thinking about planning, we need to think about planning body, mind, and spirit. So think about some things physically that can nurture your body. Maybe you try indoor exercise. Maybe you are going to adjust your diet, right? We naturally adjust our diet with the seasons anyway. So this is a time to think about that and plan for the physical aspect of that. This is also a great time to think about our emotional body, our creative minds. So this is often a great time for us if you are a harvester like me. We're harvesting right now. We're in the middle of harvesting all of these herbs and crops and things like this. So we're, drying season is running amok over here in Empowered Wellness. So we have dehydrators going, we have things hanging. So we're harvesting and we're drying and we're cultivating our herbs so that we can use those to make medicine. It's also a time to think about projects moving forward. So, what kind of work will you do creatively over the winter? Is there crafts, painting? What is it that you do? What is it that creates? And so when you're thinking about this for yourself, for your loved ones, your family, your kiddos, think about all aspects to stimulate as we move into the internal times. Also, we think about the spiritual work. Is there any workshops that you want to take? Is there any books that you've really wanted to read? Is there any shadow work that you really said, you know what, I'm going to sit myself down and we're going to start to heal this? Is there anything along that pathway that you can capitalize on as we move into the through this equinox and up until the end of the year? So it's not just the holidays that we're planning for. Some of us are, I make a lot of things. So I'm in the process of making a lot of things for holidays, for gifts, for medicine, for all of these things and all of the creative projects. So think about, what are you doing? What can you be doing? What would you like to? If you've never done any of these things that I'm talking about, pick something. body, mind, spirit. Pick 3 things and play with that for the season until the beginning, till we come back into spring. And see, by keeping yourself moving forward and growing and learning and shifting in ways that you feel drawn, it just helps shift your whole energy as we move through the internal times. So for now, enjoy that fall equinox and the smell of pumpkin spice everywhere. It's already in my office today. I just had to laugh. And the beautiful changes. I live in the Northeast, so we see all of the seasons change. And right now, fall foliage is just beginning. So that's always a gorgeous time. And so get excited for those fun things that are coming forward and get out and enjoy the winds of change as they blow. All right, that's what I got for you for today. All right, so let's see here. We have a caller. We have Palessa in Washington, D.C. Are you with us, my dear?
I am very much. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for calling in. It's a pleasure. Do you have a particular area you would like me to look at?
Yeah, it's around work because I'm in the process of applying for different jobs in a kind of a career pivot at this time. So yeah, that's what I'm really focused on. It's my career and new opportunities.
Perfect. So I pulled you a card. This is the High Priestess. And she is standing there very regal with this majestic crown in the color of blue. And this is that third eye indigo blue. And her words are saying, trust your intuition, careful reflection before taking action, insights that come through meditation. And so what I'm getting by this is there may be 2 or 3 job opportunities that you're looking at or considering, and they want you to weigh. One of them I feel like could be maybe parallel as far as income comes in. It's kind of a lateral move, but you may see some positives around it, less stress, less responsibility, but the same kind of pay. There is another one that's coming through that sounds too good to be true, and your gut's telling you there's something here I'm missing. Trust your gut on that one. Even though it's more money, there's other disruptors within that work environment that they are not going to disclose up front, and your guts are going to pick it up right away based on what they say and or don't say. So your guts are going to be strong on that one. So if it looks like a shiny new object, leave it be. And then I feel like there's yet a third option. It may not be on the table right this moment, but it may be lingering right coming in the future. I feel like the first one is a pretty good, viable option. It's a safe bet, if you will. And I'm hearing your team in spirit saying something about you're ready for a break. You're just exhausted. So a safe bet is feeling pretty good and snuggly right now, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But this third option that I'm seeing, I feel like if you can kind of hold out a little bit, it'll challenge you a little bit. It will almost unnerve you and or make you feel like, do I have enough qualification for it? But it's a good thing in a lot of ways. It's going to be a great teaching opportunity for you to learn about yourself, how you truly are interacting with other people versus how you think sometimes you're interacting, if that makes sense. And I feel like it is the better bet of all 3, but you may not take it because it's a little intimidating. But they're saying it's like, yeah, I could do that part of it. I could do that part of it, but I'm going to have to learn a little bit about that and maybe bone up on that. Like you just get a little intimidated that you're not the expert in it to jump into it, if you will.
This is very helpful. Thank you. I mean, the stuff hasn't come through, but there's stuff that is on the horizon. Yeah.
So I feel like wait it out just a little bit. And the one thing that they're asking you to get a little bit clear about is if you can picture your day the way that you want it. I feel like you've been unhappy where you are for quite a while, and it's multiple things. It's not, part of it is what they're saying is almost like you are losing, I don't want to say the word faith, but here's how they're saying it to me. So I'll just give it to you how I'm getting it. It's almost like you've lost faith in the compassion of humanity. And you feel like if you leave this place, it's going to be better somewhere else. But you're starting to see, it doesn't matter if you go to the grocery store, to a department store, to any kind of business, it's rippling across the board. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so they're just cautioning you that that aspect, that little piece of it has zero to do with this particular job. You're going to find that.
So don't bring the old into the new, because I'm stepping out of an old, which was horrible.
But no, that's not what they're saying here. What they're trying to say is part of why you're unhappy is this aspect of what's going on in humanity. And you're seeing in your current workplace. But if that's your motivation to leave, you're going to continue to find that same thing everywhere, because collectively, this is something every single person is needing to experience and go through right now. So the lesson about this aspect of finding compassion for yourself and for others and having that empathy is a universal lesson that everybody is being rocked and rolled to try to learn right now. So do you understand what they're saying here? There's a bigger picture. So if that's the reason why you're jumping, and that's the only reason, that is not a valid reason to leave, because you're going to find it everywhere right now. And it's going to continue to escalate because it's needed to for multiple reasons behind the scenes. So what your job is about that aspect is about learning to police your own energy and your own compassion and your own experience. And that's what all of us in humanity are really required to do right now. I don't feel that's the only reason, but they wanted to make that extremely clear to you, that has to be off the table when you're considering different job position. Okay.
Okay. I hear it. I've already left the other place. So the bigger perspective that they are describing is extremely helpful, because it means that I've depersonalized my previous experience, but I'm going in with a universalized kind of lens. This is what we are going through. So compassion, empathy, right? Don't take things personally.
Yes, exactly. And
we're working through this, the same thing. From my end, your end, we're actually doing the same thing. I get it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So that's one thing they wanted to make sure that they told you about. Okay. But I do see prospects coming like real soon here. But they want you to just get clear about what's going to make you truly happy in these positions. What is the thing that's going to make you want to get up out of bed every day and go to that job? What is that piece of it? And then hold that light and hold that intention. Even if there's bad days, hold that intention. And it'll be very clear based on the job. So I see you in a new position by the end of the year. So just keep going, keep looking, keep refining that within yourself, and know that this other turbulent stuff, everybody's rocking and rolling with it, and we all have to learn how to manage it ourselves with our own energy. Okay. All right. But I feel like spring brings forward like really positive changes. So for right now, It's be conservative with your time, energy, money, all of those things. And slow and steady wins the race moving forward to get the job that you really wanted. Okay. But it comes by the end of the year.
Thank you. Very helpful. Yes.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
you're so welcome, my dear. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you so, so much. All right.
Bye-bye,
Okay.
dear. All right. And we have Yanika in Alabama. Hello, my dear. How are you?
Fine.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for calling in. Is there an area that you would like me to look at for you?
Yeah.
What would you like?
Love.
You want to look at love? All right.
Yeah.
So I pulled a card from the fairy deck, and this is the 3 of Autumn. It says, follow your passion when it comes to your career. Be the best at what you do. Being compensated for your creative talents. So you want to talk about love, but they want to talk about career. So let's mesh this together for you. They're talking about making sure that the overlap here between the two is that you may feel like you're not being compensated or valued for the work that you do. Would you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And they're asking that you pay attention to think about the past several relationships that you have been in. I feel like this is a repeated pattern where you didn't feel valued for the things that you contributed, for who you are and what you brought to the table. Would you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So they want you to look at what I'm seeing is you have a huge heart and you tend to jump in both feet, giving everything you got, and the person's still putting their toes in the water. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
So Spirit is asking for when you find somebody that interests you, they want you to put a different boundary on this. That, dating is so hard and it's very challenging these days, but they want you to put a boundary here to say, we don't do certain things until certain things are met. So we're going to take some time and get to know each other before we are intimate. We're going to take time before we have any sleepovers, before I integrate you fully into my life. We have to have some trials and tribulations. We need to just take the time to really start to understand who the person is first. And I feel like that's not been the way that you've handled it so much in the past. And maybe the last one you tried a little bit, but there was something about it that they were just really cute and you kind of gave in to old habit, if that makes sense.
Yes, ma'am.
So what Spirit is asking you to do, if you were to be teaching a daughter or a niece or somebody how to have a more successful relationship, kind of write it out. I don't know, like I'm seeing almost like you're a teacher, like you're really good at being able to lay it out for other people, but you're not so good about following it for yourself here. But yeah, aren't we all? We're all guilty of that, right? But what they're saying is like lay it all out like that, stick it on your fridge, stick it where you see it, where you get ready every day. So you're reminding yourself, nope, we didn't move past this. We're going to hold here. We're going to try to do other activities, other things to learn about each other better before we can move to the next step of things. And they want you to get really clear. This is a great time to really stop and think about it. They want you to write a pros and cons list, if you will, or a list of everything that you would like in a partner. And it can be anything and everything. Be as inclusive as you can, okay? And really take your time with this. Spend days, weeks, months, take some time and really think about, in past relationships, I loved it when we were clicking and when this happened. And put that on the list if that's what you want, okay? And it's only the things that really spark you and really thrive. And then even if you're not 100% that's what you think, but if you think, I think that's what I want, put it on the list. And then once you feel like your list is pretty complete, you feel like you got a lot of things, and they're saying at least 300 things. That's a lot of stuff. So think about it, okay? And that gets down to,
Yes,
I like
ma'am.
it when they make me coffee in the morning, or when they make, like, it can be anything. So then what they want you to do is, once you get this list, they want you to review it, and they want you to go, this would be nice. This is a must. And this is a complete deal breaker. And they want you to list all of those things. Like, yeah, it'd be great if they had $1 million, but they must have a job. A deal breaker is no job. Like, that's the example they gave, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So do this, and then it will help you get really clear about the minimal that you feel you are requiring, what you think is really better acceptable, and then what you would really love to have. And this is not just physical stuff or that. It's about, how you feel when you're with that person, the conversations you have with that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, take it on all different levels. Because I feel like you're not quite sure really what you want, but you're ready to be with a partner, and you're ready not to be alone, and you want that companionship, but you're not sure what it really looks like or feels like. So this is why they're dragging you through this exercise. And it feels like dragging, but it really is going to be really helpful for you to get a little bit clearer about what you want. Because until you're extremely clear, it's hard to know if you want that or not, until something really bad happens and you go, I really don't want that. But for you, you're already hooked, line, and sinkered in before you get that one. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
So I do feel like that there will be, I feel like towards spring, I'm getting April, May, really good possibility for a strong relationship. Now, you may date a little before then, but you're going to start to see real clear when you're trying to get clear with what you want. You're going to go on a date and you'll be like, nope, that's a deal breaker for me. So they want you to play, and don't be discouraged. It's prepping you for the real thing. So they want you to have a little bit of fun with it. There's no pressure. The person is coming. I feel like really good, strong possibility, April, May of next year. And they're doing some of the same kind of work. So it's going to be great when you get together, because you guys are going to be like, yeah, they're checking that box. Yeah, she's checking that box. Yeah. Like, you guys it'll be an exciting thing, because you're checking a lot of the boxes for each other. And you're both consciously aware of it, not just unconsciously dating, So right now it's working on you a little bit. And part of this is about you being paid and more empowered to own your own power in your career as well. So maybe you start to take a little bit more initiative. Maybe you offer those suggestions that you feel like nobody wants to hear what you have to say, but really it's in the way that you bring it and who you bring it to. They're going to be like, man, this is a valuable asset. We haven't tapped into all of this knowledge. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Does it make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So have a little bit of fun. You're welcome. They want you to have a little bit of fun with it. I know it doesn't feel like fun, because you want to find the right person. You're tired of this dating crap. You want to find the right person and move on. And it's coming. Sometimes spirit, when they say it's coming, it's a slow process. So what we know as women are, just in the way our bodies change over all these years, we got to learn to have a little bit of sense of humor about this life, because if you don't, ooh, right? So same kind of thing applies. Try to have a little bit of sense of humor. When you go on a date, try to just go, okay, she told me it's not going to be the one. I'm not going to go on the first date and it's going to be the right guy, but there may be some things that are good, but I'm going to pick up on the no deals. I really don't want to live without this piece, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I wish you all the luck, my dear. Hang in there. Have some fun over the holidays. Trust and know spring brings new love and fun and excitement moving through the summer for you next year. I wish you all the best,
Yes,
my
ma'am.
dear.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. All right, guys. Well, check out my website, empoweredwellness.org. And there's lots of workshops that I am going to start listing pretty soon on Zoom and in person. And I will see you guys here. I hope you have an awesome first week of fall, and I'll see you next week. Namaste.